You're live, 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 live. Okay. I was going to wear this shirt like I did in the previous Nautical Hawaiian shirt video, but I just washed it this morning and this one already got wore more. So this one is out. But this was mentioned previously in also my most recent video about if you lost your entire wardrobe in a catastrophe, what would you replace it with? And I had showed this shirt and one of the other shirts I'll be showing later, because I've had that shirt for years and years and years and it still hasn't fallen apart like apparently supposedly fast fashion shirts do. I'm not going to get overtly brand specific here, but one of the brands I have neglected to do a whole video about, I'll get into more detail. That shirt again being, I don't know, from Target or Mervyn's or someplace a long time ago. But in the last video, I said how in high school we had all wore the OP shirts. Briefly, you know, going back to Wikipedia, OP was actually founded in 1972. So the brand had been around for a couple of years before I knew about it or before it became really a thing, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if they were more popular in the late 70s or the early 80s, but they had at least a good 10-year run there before they started to decline or whatever through the 90s. But basically it was that kind of thing. Not entirely, but printed t-shirts with surfy motifs on and beachy scenes and kind of those colors. So not too dissimilar from, you know, something like this, which has become like a surfer skater look, but started as more of a boat look. And I've showed these shirts before. You know, like here, you got a heavy contrast with the orange, which is not as strictly nautical as now. It's more of a surfy skater look than if it just had the white stripe, right? And they have nautical looking stuff on sale at Kohl's right now. So, you know, it's not completely gone. But I mean, like, you know, even in the 80s and the 90s, you know, you could get, I mean, this is a more of a beach, classic beach look for a towel that could also be a shirt, right? And, or, you know, as opposed to, you know, a total, you know, work of art almost, you know, like here we've got, you know, two orcas diving in a tide pool and a, you know, so you could find shirts that look like this almost, you know, in some spots. I don't have anything quite that loud, I guess, for today, because again, well, when I did the video about this last year, episode number 6 or whatever, 5, I think 5, I intentionally showed a lot more plaid shirts and showed some boaty Hawaiian shirts, of which I have more to show, but I intentionally then did not show much or any vintage items. And again, today I'm not showing any vintage items. So today I won't be showing any vintage OP shirts either, although I might still have some things lying around. Of course, in the 80s, there was real surf stores and things that you could go to in Southern California. So a lot more of the teenagers were buying Billabong or Hobie or some of the other brands, and OP was already kind of becoming passe because, you know, it was kind of the attitude, well, you can buy that one at the mall. This one's more real because I'm supporting, you know, this real surfer guy or whatever the argument might have been. But I didn't want to pay extra for a shirt with a design that I didn't like as much. So to me, OP was perfectly fine. So I'm going to split this into 2 parts, one being summer, and then the second part being autumn, kinda, because newscasters have been saying, "Oh, summer is almost over already." And no, it's like early August. We are literally only around the midpoint of summer. We're maybe still less than halfway through summer right now. We still have all of August and most of September to go before summer is actually over. And then in LA, it'll still be hot for another month or three. Okay. So let's get that notion out of our heads that summer is coming crashing to a halt anytime now soon, just because school started yesterday or Monday for some districts or most kids or whatever it is now. That we used to go back after Labor Day, then it was before Labor Day, and it was all kind of goofy. Now it's summer just started a month ago and you're back in school. Okay. I don't know. I don't have kids in school, so I don't have to worry about it, but that might be relevant if you're back to school shopping, something. Anyway, a lot of the stuff that happened in the 90s or maybe the early 2000s that I will get into also momentarily, although to talk about the surfer thing briefly again more, was kind of like this, kind of the nostalgia thing, which there was a lot of nostalgia thing in the 80s, don't get me wrong, but in the 90s it got recycled for the boomers as the old guys rule thing. So it was all about, antique cars, In-N-Out burgers. I had an In-N-Out burger t-shirt with a surfer theme. I might still have that here somewhere, but I don't think so. But like this, I probably got at Target or something, and you can see it's old trucks and longboards, right? Also a kind of a more of an autumn color almost, right? This kind of beige. Like this is not what the old guy would have been wearing in 1962, right? He would have been wearing that yellow stripe one, or something more like this, right? But now you're a mellow old dude, but you were cool, 40 years ago or whatever. So you can still be cool now, kind of thing. I don't know. Anyway, like I said, I'll come back to this kind of thing, but not totally. And then also there's some stuff that is technically surfy that I wouldn't even want to wear in summer or maybe necessarily in autumn. Like this is charcoal gray, and so going to attract a lot of heat, but it has, a beer label with a Hawaiian theme, right? So, I mean, I could wear this in June if I felt like it, but it's also a thicker material. So I don't usually wear something like that. But again, unfortunately, then you have the same company has white t-shirts, but it's the same material. So it's still a thicker, heavy material. So even though it has a surfy logo and a brighter color and a nicer white sun reflective color, it's still it might be more durable shirts, but not going to be as lightweight and comfortable necessarily as some of the other ones. I don't know if I should open this one and show the pattern or not, because I'm pretty sure it's one of the most Hawaiian ones I have. Oh, no, I do have another shirt with the same pattern. So yeah, it's fine. Okay. And then so then something like this with a tank top, a little bit more forgiving. But again, I find a tank top less versatile. I don't usually like to wear t-shirts on their own. Anyway, I prefer to wear a collared shirt if I'm going out and about, but sitting around the house, this kind of thing, just, fine. But then you paid all the extra money for the pattern, and then not too many people get to see the pattern because, I'm not going to the market with that. But that one having like a shark, again, we talked about fish last time. This time, instead of fish, we have a tank top with more of a tribal kind of tattoo looking thing going on. So front and back, I think almost the same. Yeah, front has a little bit more squiggle with this hibiscus. So stuff like this, yes. Is it boaty more than beachy? No. It's more surfy. It's more beachy. Could you wear it boating? Well, yeah, obviously, if you don't mind your shoulders getting burned. But it doesn't scream boats. But then the same company, which, yeah, crazy shirts, right? And they came out a lot more recently than the older ones. like I said, the OPs and some of the other companies. But they're a Hawaii company, and they are devoted to, being able to buy the kind of stuff that, you might buy on vacation, but I don't have to go on vacation to get it because I can order it from a website now. So they do have a store in Laguna, but usually if I'm in Laguna, it's after beach hours when you can actually find parking. So all the stores are pretty much closed. So I don't get to Laguna as often as I used to. But here's another one with a very much more boat friendly design. But it's also tropical more than, I don't know, winter nautical or whatever we discussed in one of the previous episode 1 or whatever. So, so you might not consider, well, this says Lahaina, but if you didn't read that, you might think Jamaica, right? And again, like I said, in the previous video, some of the shirts might look more Florida than Hawaii or even California. They all kind of have a slightly different vibe, maybe-ish, I mean, I just bought it because, it has a boat and it has nice colors and who cares, right? This is, okay, so this is the same one as the one I was going to, the white one I was going to show before. Now, this is like a lighter blue, which again, same as this. Not necessarily as nautical as true navy, but we're in the hot months now, so I'm not wearing dark black, blue, gray things, right? So something like this, a lot more summer, a lot more boaty. This definitely doesn't scream surfing, as much. This says boats, right? This is about as nautical as you can kind of get without, again, being black and white stripes or blue and white stripes. And here's another one. It's got a tall, skinny where the chest pocket would be, but is not. But then on the back, you've got a very kind of simpler, painty design. Boats and clouds. Boats, boats, boats. Yes. Okay. So again, early summer, midsummer. These are, again, the fabric you may or may not like, but you can't dispute the boatiness of those things. Similarly, as I said in a previous video, we got this kind of fishy thing. Again, another beer thing going on. A lot of these will be beer labels of beers that I've never, ever encountered. Don't know if they're any good or not. Don't really have any endorsement to say on that front. Just the designs are funny or whatever. Or kitschy, or, like I said, in the case of this one, kind of iconic or whatever, kind of a nice design more than what it means. I'm more interested in the turtle than the porter, is what I'm saying. But that color being yellow, that again being one of my transition colors. Yellow, not necessarily a boat color as much as a beach color, but integrated in correctly, again, with something like this, you can kind of get away with it. Again, with something like this, again, more surfy, but it's got, some yellow and some, excuse me, some yellow and some, is this like turquoise or kind of green? Dry mouth. Okay. And then as I showed in the previous video, or the last year's video, not this year's previous video, but the nautical. Sometimes you can have planes, which are not actually boats, but it still is tropical. This one, on the other hand, I didn't know the fabric would be this kind of yucky stretch fabric, so it is. But of course, the Mustangs that I have to show off. Okay. So when we go from, as I said in one before, like as we go from 4th of July, where we're in red, white, and blue with nautical stuff, or here's like a, kind of a thing with the stripes, coordinate this with a pair of blue shorts, and all of a sudden you're patriotic nautical, right? So this can work in July, but then I usually don't wear red like that much in spring. I don't wear it that much in late summer, but then come autumn, these kind of things I think start to make sense. And even in a little bean shirt with, again, is this a surf shirt? Is this a boat shirt? Is this just a Schroeder from Charlie Brown camp shirt? Don't know, doesn't matter. I can coordinate any of these in autumn, where again, I'm not worried about doing my laundry with odd things because I'm not worried about these staining my socks pink anymore because I'm wearing a lot more autumny colors. And I'll show those in a minute, but in the meantime, though, late summer before autumn, again, I'm way more into khaki stuff. So here we got another super boaty thing with tropical stuff going on. Again, this could be Hawaii, this could be Jamaica, this could be Tahiti. It doesn't matter. It's not true Navy. It's more, again, vacation-y or whatever, or vibe-y. But it's also beige. And so again, if I want to wear this under this, right, and not show the design at all, this one, is this more boaty or less boaty than the last one? You be the judge. I'd say this is pretty boaty, but it also says Hawaii. So it doesn't really show Hawaii as much as it shows a boat. But on the front it says Hawaii. So it's Hawaiian, right? It's literally a Hawaiian shirt from a Hawaiian company, but probably made in El Salvador, so who knows. So that's all the t-shirts anyway. Sorry, that's most of the t-shirts. Then for autumn, we have, again, one that comes from Target, where, again, we're not doing boats as much, but we're also doing surfboards, and we're also doing tropics. So there is a boat in it that I forgot about, but it also has surf roll boards and your tropical paradise dream thing. Where this might have come from Bass Pro Shops. I don't remember. Worldwide Sportsman. Not sure. Something like that. Yeah, it might have been Bass Pro Shops for all I know. But, you know, again, lifestyle vibe thing more than boat. But very autumn orange color. Again, I'm not wearing that sort of thing in spring at all. I'm not typically wearing this sort of thing in spring. Another one with Hawaii kind of theme. This one, what is this one more surfy than boaty? I can't get it on camera. There we go. I think that's supposed to be an outrigger in yellow here. Nah, maybe it's just some printing. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Diamond Head, first flight. So maybe it's some kind of airplane. I'm sweating a little bit, but I had a tissue, but it's buried under the shirts. Anyway, where'd it go? We'll find it later. That's okay. This shirt can absorb a little bit. And then this one, some stuff that they do is California stuff. So here's Fisherman's Wharf, which has not as much to do on the design factor as boats, but still technically California and San Francisco having, you know, typically more surf themed stuff than boat themed stuff. So then moving swiftly to total boat stuff, we have some Rain Spooner ones that I didn't show before. Here's one with some boaty stuff. I don't know if this one still fits me. I'll find out. I know a couple of these are too small. But that, again, being the kind of color, a little bit more of a steel gray than this. Whereas this one being almost the exact same color. I can make myself bigger. And this one having boats and life preservies and whatever gimmicks going on here. Lighthouses. That might be binoculars. Waves, crashing waves, sailboats, different sailboats. And of course the girl on the tag with the hula bikini Although I don't know, her face looks a little more Japanese anime than Hawaiian, but we let it slide last time, so we'll let it slide again this time, I guess. Now this one being a little less strictly nautical in the top grids, but then is actually totally boats if I unfolded it, but I haven't unfolded it yet. Whereas this one being fertility goddesses or something doing Hawaiian stuff. No boats anywhere on this one. It's just this gal harvesting her flowers or something. I bought these a few years ago. More recently, we have stuff again running the gamut from like the $12 mostly. Is this all polyester or does it? Yeah, rayon. I think that's what this is. So I don't know if I'll like wearing this one or not, but I basically got this one because it looks like Jeff Spicoli shirt for playing dress up more than wearing anywhere. Because I've seen videos where guys talk about how much they like rayon, and I'm not one of them. This company, I had to reorder a couple things, I think, to get closer to my actual size, but I was in kind of a pineapple motif mode. I have a bow tie with little pineapples on it too. I thought it would be kind of cute to wear the bow tie with the shirt, but instead it just looks dumb because you can't have that much pattern going on, especially if it's the same theme or whatever. So that didn't work. But I think this one's actually long sleeve, which is, yeah, why it hasn't been worn. So hopefully that still fits because I think their extra larges don't run real. I think they're more tapered. Here's one that's actually not Hawaiian. It's technically Mexican, but again, it's bright, it's colorful, it's thing. Again, more beachy than boaty. Pardon me getting my intestines wanting to make noise. I think this one still fits. This company runs a little bit small, but not as small as some of them. And here's another one by them that I thought I showed last time, but I might have skipped. Actually bought two of this, and because they were on, one was on clearance or something, and I should have bought a bigger size probably, but I think I can still wear them. Anyway, so yeah, talk about super bright. This is now an attempt to look more vintage than some of the other ones. The rayon one also being an attempt to look very vintage with some of those really loud, bright, ultra maximalist over the top designs, right? Whereas typically today, well, let's show this one. This one is a couple years old now, but from Duluth. So this was the counterpart to the plaid one that I bought in the same material that I showed a lot in the last year's video. So again, kind of skirting that line, but with a fabric that's a little more, I don't know if it's supposed to wick the sweat or not. Just as relaxed fit and cotton. So it does what it does. I don't know. Similar to the LL Bean Tropic Weight shirt. Some shirts, they just feel slimier when you sweat in them. So, you know, you want to wear a t-shirt under them more. Whereas this is like a lightweight cotton, but this is technically vintage now because this is an old Mervin's one. But this is just a printed cotton, not a true Hawaiian. Mervin's had a lot of ups and downs with their product management people or whatever for a while there, so they didn't know what people were still buying. So it's kind of an oddity that my, you know, like this was not one that I would have bought. I actually kind of inherited this one, and I don't know if it fits anymore because it's a large. But I think it runs a little bit bigger than, again, the newer shirts. So some of these large will fit me and some of them won't. But now the more recent trend, like these are from less expensive companies. I don't remember who that's from. But you get a lot more of, technically these are kind of throwback styles too, but they're way more subtle, right? You've got almost no pattern here, but you've got the spread collar, which I was saying in the previous video that I do prefer, to the full button, because I'm not trying to make this into an office casual shirt typically. Now, again, in the original day, it was called like Hula Shirt Friday or something, right? Like, and so you were in the 60s expected to wear something like this. Maybe not again quite as flamboyant as something like this or the purple and green one, but you were allowed to wear some kind of hula shirts. So how wild certain places let you get with that, I don't know. Whereas something like this, I think, would have been a lot more acceptable with a conservative firm, even if your neck is partly exposed. Whereas this one, you have a button here at the top. Again, not a very expensive shirt, probably all cotton, not rayon or some of the other fabrics. That's, again, more of a tropical motif. Neither of these is boaty at all. But then again, neither is pineapples, which, again, I bought this one in both colors because, again, I was into the pineapple thing. And this one might be short sleeve, though. This one, double XL. Okay, yeah, so this is the one that I bought to fit because I think that black one doesn't. So probably have to wear that one soon. This one, again, with the spread collar, not with the button collar. Again, with kind of a, or not again, but similar to those tank tops that I showed, the banded thing instead of a full design. Somewhere along the line, this banded thing became popular. And again, I think OP was doing that way back in the mid-70s already. So this is not new. I don't know if they invented it, but I remember a lot of OP shirts being this kind of thing. And then similarly, but with more pattern over the whole shirt, we got the black one with the hibiscus. The hibiscus always being a popular tropical theme, but again, not a true boat theme. I ran out of boat theme ones a while ago, so these ones are just ones that I saw at Kohl's, and they are rayon linen blend. So I paid full price for them just because I figured, well, anything with linen blend was decently priced anyway. But how much I'm going to like the rayon, I don't know. It's super busy. It's fairly heavy, and they didn't give you a lot of armpit room. So I don't know if I can wear that comfortably over a t-shirt or not. Might have to substitute a tank top. But the pattern is kind of striking and kind of tropical and a little more autumny than spring, maybe, with the kind of rust colors in it and not as bold of a green. It's got more of this subdued army green and a black. So to me, this is, an okay late summer, early autumn pattern. This one being maybe a little bit more spring. This was kind of the one I grabbed just to grab it. That other one, kind of drew me in. This one was just kind of like, yeah, it's kind of there. Beige and blue. Okay, fine, But again, you could wear this in late summer. It wouldn't clash with too much. Again, not very boaty per se, but fine for leading into autumn when it's still warm without being a theme shirt per se. And either of these, well, the second one being more office casual. This one, again, being where do you work and what are they going to think of you in it, but not, not polyester looking or whatever. So that was my 30-minute video on non-vintage Hawaiian shirts part 2. If you learned anything from that, I don't know who will make it through this whole thing. Probably nobody. But if you have any questions, as always, leave them in the comments and we'll see what we get.